Any type of advertising is just going to amplify their current state that they're in. You need to fail fast, and then you're going to move faster.
That's Michelle Kop, and she's a lead generation boss in every sense of the word.
If you think AI is going to completely kill your business, you probably weren't really good at Google Ads to begin with.
Over the past decade, Michelle has helped business owners produce over 160,000 leads for their local businesses.
Google's become harder than it was before, knowing what's BS and what's not.
She's also created award-winning paid search campaigns. And today, she's going to help you figure out just how to generate leads, and she's also going to give you her blueprint to doing it without breaking the bank.
When I started managing my own accounts, I treated it like that's my own money. That's my own money.
So let's get into the episode. Business owners, especially your small business owners that are trying to generate leads for their businesses, what do you think they don't get about marketing that's actually holding them back? When I say marketing, I'm talking about this whole Google Ads thing.
I think the issue is that they don't realize that any type of advertising is just going to amplify their current state that they're in. If they've got a really bad sales process, putting more ad dollars and dumping tens of thousands of ad dollars into it is just not going to make things better. In fact, it's going to make it worse because you're wasting a lot more money and leads are just going down the drain because you don't have anything to handle it. You can ask clients like, oh, how's your sales process before working with them? Oh yeah, my sales team is doing a great job, blah, blah, blah. And then you start listening to phone calls because you have call tracking. There's lots of calls going to voicemail. People are not being followed up on. You don't really know until you start working with them. They're a good client until I figure out that they don't really have a good process, and then they have to stop. Or sometimes they'll just stop and then they won't return because they don't want to address the customer service representative issue. They don't want to address the internal problem, and they want a finger to point. And the easiest finger to point at is you. They point the finger and not the thumb, and that's the issue.
Let's pretend we're talking to this business owner. They say to you, hey, Michelle, I want to run ads and I want my business to be good. I'm not sure if our processes are good or bad because I've kind of never done this before. What process would you recommend? What would you say to them?
What I would say is tell me what the process is after, if I were to send you leads. Tell me what happens. Oh, it goes to Jenny at the front desk. And then from there, she takes the phone calls. Then she puts it into our CRM. Our CRM is HubSpot. And then we have these follow-up sequence. If I can get very specific follow-ups or specific answers and just very detailed response on that, then I know that they have things dialed in, especially if they go into it goes to this person, then this. But they're like, oh yeah, they just answer it. Then I it's kind of somewhat of a red flag.
The question I wanted to ask you is, because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are trying to figure out why would they choose Google Ads versus SEO. They probably think what's the difference? I'm going to be posting on social media for free, or I can do SEO and my website can rank forever. Why would I want to do Google Ads?
As a business owner, you're wearing so many hats and there's so many channels out there. You mentioned social, paid social. You've got, SEO. Really where you need to start is, do you have a budget? If you don't have a budget, any paid medium is not even going to be where you want to be. And where I really try to tell clients that are considering, that have budget, that are considering doing advertising is with Google Ads, you're capturing intent. People are expressively going to Google and saying, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bankruptcy attorney. I'm looking for a medical spa that offers Botox or laser hair removal. So you're capturing that intent. When people are going and looking for a solution, you could potentially show up and be front and center. And the benefit too of that is with Google Ads, over any other channels, you're over SEO actually in particular, is you're paying to be up at the top. You're cutting the line when you're at an amusement park. You're paying for that front of the line pass. Instead of having to stand all the way in the back on a hot summer day, you're just jumping the line so that you can just appear. Of course, you need to have good quality ads. You need to have a good quality landing page. And all these things have to be in place even before you do advertising. Don't think that just because you're going to put money behind it and you do appear at the top doesn't mean that you're going to be getting good quality leads.
How would the average business person know that their website is bad or not good enough to run ads?
They would need to actually consult with a professional. Oh, well, actually, not necessarily consult with a professional, but you can even just go to even colleagues and just show them your website on your phone. After like 3 seconds, take away the phone and ask them, what website was this, what was the messaging on it, where was the phone number, where was the contact form. And if they can't tell you that after 3 seconds, your website's probably junk. People, if they can't remember where it is or it's hard to find, then it's very unlikely that someone that's good quality traffic is going to spend more than 3-4 seconds before they potentially leave. You can also consult a digital marketing professional that can look at your website and give you direct feedback.
If you're watching this podcast right now, I want you to write down hashtag I need a new website. If you just watched this pod and you realized after showing a couple people your website that it's not up to scratch, we'll gladly reach out to you and put you in touch with the right people. I think it's hard for business owners these days to know who to trust. They struggle with this dilemma of, should I be running my own ads? Should I do a course on ads? What would you advise somebody who says, listen, I don't have that much money to spend. I don't know if I can afford an agency, but also I want to give this Google Ads thing a shot and I just want to see what it's like.
I always recommend clients to learn Google Ads just so that they know in the future, if they do want to hire an agency or a freelancer, to know that if they're lying to them or trying to come up with some technical answer to sound like they're smart to kind of cover up, I think it's very important to know at least the fundamentals of like how it works, keywords, negative keywords, audiences, just so that you can sniff out if someone's trying to BS you. You don't have a lot of money to spend. You can just use the Google resources, but note that a lot of the suggestions in the Google resources is geared to get you to spend more. And we can talk about that in a little bit. So looking at a course like yours that's created by a third party and not Google, that's definitely one benefit because you are not going to be biased in your suggestions because your goal is to help your clients get
Yeah.
the best results. Google is looking to increase their revenue. So a lot of the answers and suggestions in the help articles are written to get you to spend more money. If you are very strapped for a budget, you can look at the Google help resources. Another resource could be to look on YouTube channels with a lot of great content. The content there is not written by Google, so it's not going to be biased towards Google, or looking at a course like what you have.
As a local business owner, what should I be looking for when I'm looking for an agency?
So the first thing you should be looking for is, have they worked in your industry before?
Yeah.
That's really big. It's not a complete deal breaker, but have they worked in your industry before? If they have, then that's a big thumbs up. If not, that's not a complete deal breaker. Look on for the next thing. The next thing is look for social proof. Do they have actual reviews from Google reviews on their LinkedIn profile, actual client testimonials, not just written testimonials, but actual video testimonials? Because video testimonials, you can't lie about it. I mean, maybe nowadays with AI, but it's hard to fake that. And then maybe even asking for referrals. Now, I haven't actually had clients actively ask for referrals, but like if you really had a bad experience with agencies in the past, that could also be another option, is ask me for referrals or even references, so that you can check and see, were they good and what did they do, that type of thing. Also, case studies, I would put that above references. What type of results have they been able to get? Do they have a track record? Another thing you should ask is, who's going to be managing my account? Another thing is, look at their website. If they don't have pictures of their team, that's potentially a red flag because they're not being transparent. Another thing is, maybe they're using outsourced resources. That's another question that you can ask. Or do you use outsourced resources? Sometimes they'll give you an answer that's going to dance around that and not actually say yes. But then the problem is, then your account is going to be given to people that you have not spoken to, that you haven't really had a chance to vet. You're vetting the agency
Yeah.
based off of your relationship with the sales rep and not actually with the person that will be managing your account.
Super true.
Is
Super
super
true.
important. Who's going to be managing my account? Can I talk to them? And then another question is, how long does it take for you guys to respond to emails?
Now, if you're a business owner that's looking to generate more leads and more sales in your business, there is no better time for you to learn Google Ads. What I am going to do is I want to tell you about a massive sale that we are having for Black Friday. If you've ever wanted to study what the digital marketing pros are doing and copy that in your business, but you want to make sure that you're getting expert guidance and mentorship while you do it, then I suggest you check out our Black Friday special. Not only are we going to help business owners, but even if you're a Google Ads freelancer and you're struggling to grow your freelance business, then I've got some perfect programs that are going to help you do that as well. All you need to do is click on the link in the description below. And I need to tell you this one thing: every single deal that we have is only gonna last for 24 hours. So you better hurry up and get it while it's available. I'll put everything you need to know down below. Make sure you get it. And that's our Black Friday special. Now let's get back into the episode. It is so hard for the average person to discern, but I think that list of questions, it'll really help them suss out, the good from the bad. Let's say I'm a business owner and now, okay, so I understand what would happen with the agency route, but let's say I just wanted to run these ads and just, see what happens. What would be the best type of ad for me to run to get leads in my local area? Like, let's say I was a handyman, or let's say I was a plumber or electrician, or maybe even a lawyer.
I always recommend search ads. That's the number one place, placement wise, and also quality of lead wise. That's where you're gonna get it. The challenge with lawyers is that you need to make sure that you have a sufficient budget. We could talk about budgeting in a little bit, but my number one recommendation is going to be search ads. Once you've maxed out on your search ads, consider adding Bing as a second tier option outside of Google. If you want to also expand even more, local service ads. But I actually think local service ads and pay and search ads should be where it's at first, and then consider Bing. I think the next question that might be coming up is, what's the difference between search ads and local service ads? Search ads, you're paying per click within the Google Ads platform. Local service ads are ads where you are paying for every lead, and you buy that through the local service ads platform. The local service ads are actually based on a few different factors, like how quickly you can answer the phone calls, how many reviews you have, and also how close in proximity you are to the person that's searching to you. So you need to make sure that if you want to run local service ads, the other thing too is you're paying for every lead, and you have to go through a strict verification process in order to even get approved. Not every service provider in every city is going to have the ability to run local service ads. It's not available everywhere. So you can go to the local service website, type in your zip code and what industry you're in, and then it will tell you whether it's available or not, and you can create it. What I find really great with it, cost per lead is significantly cheaper than with Google. I've seen, like, for lawyers, like $30 leads on local service ads, and then like $300 leads on pay per click.
With local service ads, how much control do I have? Can I change my keywords?
It's no keywords. Basically, local service ads is set it, and I wouldn't say forget it, but you still want to check in and like mark the leads as like qualified or unqualified. In the past, I think before July of 2024, you could actually listen to the phone calls and tell Google whether it was good quality or not, and also dispute the lead. If Google tries to charge you for it, you could dispute it. Google will listen to the phone call and tell you whether it will accept your dispute or
Wow.
not. But
That is
now Google's actually doesn't offer that. Local service ads doesn't have that ability. Google's actually getting a lot better though, in terms of like, if you don't answer the phone, it's not going to charge you for it, or
okay.
they will listen to it. Maybe they have some AI software that's like actually tracking the transcript of it, and it's like, oh, I'm looking for probate services, but then you don't actually offer that, and then the person that answers the phone says, we don't actually offer that. Google doesn't charge you for that. The only thing, you don't target by keywords in local service ads. You're basically, what you do is you say, hey Google, I'm a bankruptcy lawyer, and then Google's like, okay, great, we allow bankruptcy lawyers in Charlotte, North Carolina to run local service ads. When you create your account, they will ask you, like, what type of bankruptcy services do you offer? Is it
Okay.
consumer? Is it chapter
Yes.
7, chapter 13? So you can market, and based off of that, Google will use those as keywords, and Google will then determine what keywords it will serve you on. Most of the time they're
So
local based keywords, like lawyer in bankruptcy lawyer in Charlotte, bankruptcy lawyer in Charlotte, North Carolina, bankruptcy lawyer near me. And if you're in that If you're targeting that zip codes, in that area, then it will serve your ads. And they're not ads where you can write ad copy. They're actually taking your headshot that you upload, and also pictures from that you upload too. So if you are a painter or carpet cleaner and you have like a good portfolio of pictures, you can upload that, and potential clients can see that as well. And another thing is it shows the stars on the ad itself too. So it's not like a full on ad with ad copy. It's just got like a headshot and then like how many reviews you have, your phone number, and the way to contact you.
When it comes to your search ads, there are so many things that we can look at with optimizing those. But when it comes to your LSAs, what Google is basically doing is they're optimizing the lead itself. And that's why it can end up being so affordable for you, because if the leads aren't good, you're not paying for them. So therefore, that's the way to get them to send targeted traffic. Let's say a business owner is listening in on this, and I know this question is going to come up for them. They say, you guys are talking about search, you guys are talking about local service ads, but everyone is telling me about PMAX. Google is telling me about PMAX. They're making me promote PMAX. So why can't I just run a PMAX campaign? For those of you who don't know, PMAX is a performance max campaign. And basically, what a performance max does is it mixes your search with display, with your YouTube. It kind of is like a all in one. I think Michelle said it so perfectly on one of her videos. It's like an all in one shampoo. So somebody in the local service business, they would probably ask, like, why can't I just run that? That sounds cool. Like, I don't want to do all of this work. I've got a business to run. Why not run a PMAX?
The problem with PMAX is there's no visibility into how well you are doing on search versus display versus YouTube. You're just dumping your money in and just like praying that Google is going to figure it out for you.
Okay.
So that's really the challenge. I did say it's an all-in-one shampoo. If you absolutely need it and you don't have time, you can try it, and it's not going to be like completely bad. But if you do search on its own and display on its own, you should be able to get better results because you have the ability to see your search query reports, so you can see the actual keyword data, ad data, and then optimize based off of that. With Performance Max, it's very hands off. You just set it and then you're just hoping that Google's going to just figure it out for you. I've audited accounts where the performance is really great, but the challenge is they didn't actually exclude brand from their Performance Max. So what happens is Performance Max is going to take all the credit for your brand term conversions and make it look like your performance is amazing because you're getting really cheap conversions and you're getting a lot of them, and it's actually taking away from your search campaign. So yeah, Google Performance Max is going to eat away from your search campaign.
I love that part of your website where people go to the FAQ and they say, the question is, what results can you guarantee with your agency? Your reply is a very nuanced reply where you tell them, listen, I want to let you know that we can't predict what's going to happen in the future. It's not going to be a case of, I'm going to run ads for you, and then 2 weeks later, your performance is going to triple. That's not how marketing works. So I
Yeah.
think that's a beautiful fact that you're not afraid to put that there. A lot of my
Yeah.
students, they always ask me, Devin, what should I promise them? And I said, you don't promise them anything.
You know why that question comes up? Well, what do you like what's the guarantee, or what can I get out of this in terms of performance? The issue is there's a lot of SMMA, social media marketing gurus out there that are preaching offer a guarantee. That's the only way that you're going to be able to close deals. But the problem is they're selling to like these young kids that are just coming out of high school or out of college that want to make the what is it 10K month or whatever. Like they try to pitch like that's the only way you're going to be able to sell. You need to offer a guarantee. You need ironclad guarantee, and that's the only way you're going to be able to sell. The challenge with that is you're setting yourself up for failure. If you've never run ads before and you're offering a guarantee, and the guarantee includes potentially, I'm going to give you $1,000 back if this doesn't work, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And I always get this question too from potential clients. It's, yeah, what can I expect? I can do forecasts based off of your previous data. And like, if we were to make changes to the account in this way, then we can get this type of result, but I'm always very conservative in my forecasts. We always tend to fall within that range because I'm very conservative with my forecasting, but I never can say this is what your return's going to be.
So I wanted to ask you something. We're talking about Michelle Kop as she is now. How did you get into this marketing thing in the first place?
I actually started a online business. It's an Etsy shop, and I just created the shop, created my own website. But then the problem was there was no traffic. I wasn't getting anything. And one of my cousins who was doing a little bit of digital marketing at the time was like, "Hey, have you looked into Google Analytics, Google AdWords? Because that's what it was called at the
Yeah.
time." And I'm like, no, what is that? So then she like helped me install like this Google Analytics on my website. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is so cool. This is my like first foray into digital
Yeah.
marketing. So I had an online shop, but I didn't have anyone to view it. Eventually, my shop, because I optimized it so well,
Yeah.
I was able to get some traffic just organically. I eventually got an internship at a digital marketing agency,
Yeah.
and one of the big things that impressed them was the fact that I had my own little business, and that helped me get in the
Wow.
door. So then I started doing like SEO, social media marketing, and then he eventually threw me into PPC. And I was like, what the heck is PPC? He just threw me in. It's like, well, we have like these different accounts, go manage it. And no training, no training. It was just figure it out. I felt lots of pressure. And that was I think that's what also drove me to really want to figure it out. But like we had this one client, he owned a construction business, and he would come in every week complaining like, "Oh, I need to fire my team because I'm not getting enough business." And I felt so awful that I wasn't like driving the business for him. And yeah, he's only spending like $3,000 a month, but I had so much like guilt because I was like, "Well, he's paying us. How come we're not actually getting the results?"
What I tell my students, sorry to interrupt you over there. What I tell my students is I always tell them, go out there and lose money. You gotta lose money. They're like,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna spend this money and then what if I don't get a client? I'm like, and the whole point for you is to lose money. That's what I just said. I said go out there and lose money. I never said go out there and get a client.
That actually reminds me of a quote, and the quote is fail fast.
Yeah.
You need to fail
Yeah.
fast, and then you're going to move faster.
Tell me about the day that you said, okay, enough of this. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, I felt that feeling. I felt it for a while, but of course it's hard to leave a 9 to 5 job because of stability. So I was doing my 9 to 5, and then I was doing a 5 to 9, just working on my freelance thing. And I always wanted to work from home, and at that time work from home was always a forbidden thing before the pandemic. But the thing is, because I'm very introverted, I actually find that I do better when I work from home or work privately and not
Yeah.
having all these distractions.
Yeah.
um, and even in like an 8 hour workday, how many hours can you really be productive like at work? I think
It's true.
the number was like 2 or 3 hours, not even
Yeah.
3 hours.
So the question I have for you on that is you're in your own business now, freelance.
Yeah.
Is it scary now that you're dealing with other people's money? Because I mean, when you were at the agency, it was the agency. You were just an employee there.
As you know, with paid search and Google Ads, it's very easy to make mistakes. It's
Yeah.
very easy. One setting wrong and you just blew through your
Whoosh.
budget. Because I saw a lot of that, that created a sense of paranoia. It really hurt your confidence. And every time it would happen on my team, it would hurt my confidence because it affects the team too, and how you're viewed. So because of that, like it created that sense of paranoia that when I started managing my own accounts, even though their budgets were much smaller, like $33 a day, 50, $100, $200 a day, I treated like that's my own money. That's my own money. I watch it. I've got the app on my phone. I've got the app on my phone every day. Before I eat dinner, I'm like, okay, well, where's my conversions at for the day? Oh my gosh, how come this is so much higher, what's going on? So at least I can spot anomalies in the performance before it really becomes something.
Where do you think Google Ads is going to be going? What are the trends that you see emerging and that
Yeah.
you think are going to get stronger in the next 2 years?
Number one, right now, broad match is becoming more and more heavily pushed. I'm seeing phrase match is just, I don't want to say dead, but it's pretty much what you would get with broad match these days, but you just don't get the smart, the ability to capture people based off of their user search history based off of the same in the keywords in your ad group, and also the content on your landing pages that you would get from using broad match.
Yeah.
So I think phrase match is going to be going away very soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
phrase match just is not the same as it used to be. It changed so much. Like, the meaning of phrase match is match type that will match to keywords that have the same meaning. The
Yeah.
problem is, if anything with the same, it's based off of what Google thinks is the same meaning. And it also,
Interpretation. Yeah.
exactly. And then it also will take into account, like I've had, bankruptcy lawyer as a keyword, and then will match me to John Smith LLP. It will also match me to phone numbers of other attorneys. So are you going to say that a phone number for another attorney is the same thing as bankruptcy attorney? That's
No.
very loose. It's really coloring outside the lines.
Yeah.
So I see Google moving away from phrase match, maybe even potentially moving away from exact match, and only saying, here's pretty much, broad match, just pick the keywords. Then we're going to go just try to find you the best quality. I think right now, Google's become harder than it was before,
Yes.
especially knowing what's BS and what's not, what to ignore and what to actually pay attention to, because there's things like automated applied recommendations, there's the optimization score, there's all these like notifications and emails that keep popping up making you think your performance is bad. And I don't know if you've seen this too, when you're building out accounts or your students, but like now they'll give you suggestions on the right side where there's like an automated chat or something that appears,
Yeah.
and like, oh, here are some headlines and descriptions to use. The problem with that is a lot of them are just like very generic.
True.
So you need to know how to prompt the AI. If you want to use AI, I think ChatGPT is better, but you need to know the right questions to ask it in order to get a good, good quality headlines. So I don't think that we're going to be in a place where AI is going to completely take over everything. It's going to help us. Is speaking to any like Google Ads specialist or expert that's watching this. If you think AI is going to completely like kill your business or kill like everything that you work so hard for, you probably weren't really good at Google Ads to begin with. Because it's a lot more than just setting a few buttons. Button
Yeah.
pushing has been like long gone. Like knowing the right settings is no longer really enough.
Michelle, it's been an absolute honor having you on this podcast. If anybody's listening in right now and they're saying, hey, I want to work with you or I want to get in touch with you, like where can they find you and where can they just reach out to you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on my website, level28media.com. You can also check me on my YouTube channel. Just type in Level 28 Media, and or on LinkedIn, just type in my name, Michelle Kop, and you can connect with me there. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from you.
Lastly, I just want to thank you so much for watching this episode. We really appreciate it. Let me know what were your key takeaways down in the comment section below. And if you want to learn more about making a small budget work on Google Ads, you can check out this podcast episode over here. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.